Peace to the room. Look, I'm over here weak because I don't think I've ever let that intro music play long enough to let the beat drop. So I didn't know what was about to happen and then the beat dropped and it was just corny as a mug. So I had to turn it off. I could not subject y'all to that. But as it stands, the copyright thing on YouTube is very real. And as much as I like sharing music with y'all, I really do. I do not have a platform that would allow me to just let y'all listen to my music while I get ready for the space. So I was using Muskie's little, copyright free music, but again, I didn't know. I didn't know what was about to happen when the beat dropped. So I apologize for that, my friends. And I'm just throwing some things in the jumbo. If you don't mind, please share out the space. I might like to hear your thoughts about my thoughts on America needing a flea bath, but I do have some thoughts to start us out. So I'm just gonna finish adding these things in the jumbo and then I have some stuff to talk to y'all about. So shout out to y'all for being here and thank you for your patience. And again, I'm sorry it's quiet now because that music was just bad. It was just bad. To anybody who has any royalty-free music, or if you make music and you'd like to offer your services for my spaces, please let me know. I'd love to showcase some talent and not use this garbage that Muskie has on X. Okay, I'll be back. All right, that wasn't too long, right? I hope it wasn't too long. I just really needed to add one more thing to the jumbo before we could get started. But America needs a flea bath. I didn't know that that was what was going to come out of my mouth when I said it, but it just fit. So I've been running with it since last week. These people who flee to our country are making things very itchy here. And I don't know about you, but what you do with the dog when they have fleas is you treat the fleas and then the fleas die and then they don't want to be on the host anymore and then the dog is cool again. Um, I've actually this is a very recent thing that I've had to deal with my dog because well, not super recent, but just in the last couple of years, I've never had a dog that had fleas. So when the lady across the street would bring her dog across the street to play with my dog, which that's a whole nother thing. I don't like people who want to play with my dog. She's got a job to do and it's not to sit here and shoot shit with you or your dog. I don't know about y'all, but Hush Puppy has a job to do. So anyway, when the lady would bring her dog across the street, and it's just like it's itching and biting and stuff and I'm like, why would you bring your dog over here? And then Hush Puppy starts itching and biting and I'm like, oh my goodness, this chick done. All right, so we treat the fleas and Hush Puppies cool, but it just got me thinking about these people who tether to us, and then we're trying to shake them, but they have their fangs in us like fleas, and they flee over here, and fleas are parasitic, so it just all works. You might be offended by it. That's good. I'd like you to be offended by it. Maybe you'll do something about it. America needs a flea bath. Every day, there are hundreds of incidents of people who aren't from here doing the most. Let's talk about it. The U.S. Border Patrol criminal non-citizens arrest record spanning from 2017 to today show a dip from 2017 to 2020, moving from like 8,500 arrests to 2,400 arrests. Make of that what you will because of the dates. But in 2023, there are over 10,000 arrests, almost nearing 11,000. It's at 10.8 thousand arrests of these illegals. And it doesn't seem to concern people. I mean, I know it might concern some of my close friends here and on other platforms that I might frequent, but the rest of these niggas, it just doesn't seem to bother them. And with less than 30 days in this fiscal year, I'd wager that the number is going to be somewhere around 12,000 illegals arrested this year. And if you wanted to take a look at the data yourself, you can check it out. via the U.S. Customs Border Protection website. That's www.cbp.gov. Okay, anyway, out of these arrests, can y'all guess which category had the most arrests? And when I guessed it, I was wrong. So I'm just saying you'll probably be wrong too. Illegal reentry. Did you guess it? Is that what you guessed? That was the highest occurrence, followed by drug trafficking, DUIs, and assaults of various degrees. And I started looking for articles to try to substantiate what they were talking about because there were these headlines that kept saying, is illegal immigration linked to more crimes? And there are actual articles from, quote, accredited institutions, unquote, saying no, illegal immigration is not linked to more crimes. Goodness no. Heavens no. Y'all, what in the ever loving nonsense is that? I don't know what that is because y'all know they are not protecting these people, let alone pursuing them. Let's talk about it. Did y'all see the illegals selling food with no permits in New York Transit train station? I know a lot of y'all saw that, but as it's on my mind, first of all, ew, how unsanitary. Like really, it's not like they have dedicated stalls for this type of food handling. Second of all, ew, just because you have on gloves, because I have seen videos and they trying to act like they got on gloves, so it's sanitary, it's cool. Look, I've seen rats the size of chihuahuas lugging pizza through the train station. I don't know. It just seems a little much, and maybe you haven't seen them dog-sized rats, but I have, and they're scary. And you telling me that you making spicy mango? I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Y'all watch them YouTube shorts too much, with the Asian street cooking, and then they think they can come over here and do the same shit. All right, let me stop. Third of all, ew. I'm kind of disgusted by the people, not the people selling the food right now. I'm talking about the people who were ignoring it. Because if you watch the video, there are people recording or ordering or just going about their business. Like life goes on and, like, yeah, they selling food down here. Like it's okay. Now y'all know if it had been some niggas. Now y'all know if it had been some niggas, like it wouldn't have even gotten off the ground like this. And I swear I'm trying to work on this vocabulary of mine. I swear I'm trying. I mean, earlier I said, what in the ever love? I don't even know what I said because it's just very foreign to me. But sooner or later, my vocabulary will not include all of these curse words. But as it stands, if it was some niggas, not only would we have been fined, but we probably would have been arrested or worse. Like, we get punished at every turn, but not them people. They not even supposed to be here. Like, come on, y'all. A few years back, and for real, it's probably been like once a year ever since then. I've been seeing these stories of black kids, black children selling whatever, and then there's a Karen in there wherever making sure that they don't get to participate. But the same Karen wants Katie to have her lemonade stand, but Mackay Kemper can't sell water on one of the hottest days of the year. Like 14 and 15-year-olds getting hemmed up, their entrepreneurial spirit trying to be crushed, but Karen and Katie get to float through. Like, I'm not with that. The rules are not the same, and I need it to change. And I know that y'all want it to change. I know you want it to change, but I think that if we aren't paying attention to some of these things and we're not having these conversations, and then people will act like, well, I didn't know. Eve, I didn't know that they was doing that. And I hear that all the time. And I used to tell people, well, you need to watch the new black media. You need to listen to the new black media. But then people don't want to listen to the news. Okay, fine. You need to read articles. You need to start Google searching code words, specific words. Like I have reparations as like a tag on the search. So anytime it's mentioned, I get an alert so that I know what's going on. Like I think that that's something simple we could do. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. Anyway, did I tell you these people aren't even supposed to be here? Because I feel like we need to talk about it. America needs a flea bath. Here's a story. I posted it in the Jumbo. New York City subway beating suspect, Norton Blake, was set free by cops after hitting 60-year-old woman with her own cane 50 times. Did y'all see that video? Please, at some point, go watch the video. It's bad. And here's what happened. Apparently, she needed help, and then he was helping her. But then there was some sort of disagreement. And he uses a belt at first, and she's defending herself with her cane. He takes the cane and starts whopping her with it, and people are just watching, and I'm just like, none of y'all could have empathized with this old woman getting whopped with a cane. I mean, at some point, were you thinking that maybe she deserved it? Like, is that what it is? Like, you just thought that maybe she had done something to deserve getting hit with her cane 50 times? And the transit worker who filmed it, y'all might hate me for this, but I need the bystanders to do more. Recording is not enough. It's not. Bystanders are in the way. Let me tell you a story. The other day, I went to PF Chang's. Y'all know PF Chang's, right? It's like a Chinese American fusion, whatever. I don't know. And I got there and I was going to place an order to go. And when I got there, there was an old black lady. She's sitting at the door by like the to-go area. And she's like kind of pointing at the people passing by. Like she wants some help, but nobody's stopping for her. And it's irking me because, well, really, I want to order. I'm ready to order. I want to get my food and I'm trying to go. But I see her and she just looks like she needs help and it's bothering me. So I'm like, what's wrong? Like, you need help? Like, what's up? And she said, well, my server said that she was going to help me, but I can't seem to find her anymore. And I'm like, help you what? And she's like, help me back to my car. And I'm like, well, where'd you park? Well, she parked all the way around the corner, like around Robin Hood's Mary Hood barn. I don't know. She parked way far away. I don't, how'd you get here, lady? Like, really, if you parked all the way far away, you should have a way to get back. That's how I feel. I look, if you're gonna be out here thugging it on your own, then you're gonna have to make appropriate accommodations for when you doing stuff and maybe you're a little tired, maybe super full, maybe you're a little tipsy. I don't know. I don't know if she had been drinking or not. I have no idea. But what I did know is that there was this old black lady in the way of me ordering my food because I felt some kind of way. Like I didn't want to just order the food and go because I order my food and I'll go wait somewhere else. I don't like to be around all these people. I don't even like ordering food from, it's a whole thing, y'all. But anyway, it was time. I needed it. Anyway. So I asked her, is there something I can help you with? Like, you need me to help you get back to the car? And she's like, no, no, no. I tipped her. She said she's going to help me. And I was like, oh, no. Okay. I said, lady, she's not coming back. I don't know why you tipped her before she helped you, but whatever. Maybe she was just this remarkable server and you was just stunned that she just, I don't know. Did she cartwheel in with your food? I have no idea what she did. Anyway, I walked the lady. I'm starting to walk her to her car. And we pass security. I know it's a long story, but hear me out. We pass security. Like it's like a outside mall. It's not an inside mall. It's one of those strip malls, but it's pretty big. Virginia Beach Town Center is like a outside inside mall. If you're familiar with the area, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, it's cool. You really don't need to know. You just need to know that from PF Chang's, we walked around the corner, we seen security, and I asked security, hey, can y'all help her get back to her car? I don't know this lady, but she needs help. Security's like, oh, well, actually I can't because I'm supposed to stay right here. Okay. It was a white lady in a security car. I said, okay, you can't drive her to her car. Like you have a car. You could just drive her to her car and everything's cool. You'd be back here in a second. No, I got to stay here. Okay, lady. So whatever. We still walk, we walk, we walk. And I'm like, I remember that where the lady had said she parked, it's like hotel attendants. So I'm like, lady, just keep walking. I'm gonna meet you. And I run ahead and I'm like, I see the hotel attendants. And it was a brother and it was like an Arab guy. And when I seen the brother, it's like we locked eyes and he was like, what do you need? Like he just knew that I needed something. Like I must have just been like, and I was not even paying attention to other guy. It's just like me and homeboy, we locked eyes. And I was like, look, this lady, she needs some help. I don't know her. I'm hungry. You don't even need to know all this, but look, she needs some help getting back to her car. Can you help her? And he's like, yeah, where is she at? And I was like, this is great. She coming. Like, I'm pointing behind me. And here she's like, she's very slow. She's an old lady. So she's coming through like the double doors, and the double doors are heavy. So she's struggling with the doors or whatever. So she gets to the doors and he's like, all right, I see her. And I was like, this is so great. Thank you so much. And he's like, absolutely. And it was cool. And then I left and I went and ordered my food, and it was cool. Okay. Why did I tell y'all this story? The reason I told y'all this story is because my grandma, not my grandma, but grandma who was out, y'all can't do that. That's it has nothing to do with the space tonight and everything to do with just safety. Like, look, you can't just be out if you can't do things on your own. That's It's not fair to people around you. And I don't like y'all pulling on my moral strings because I had no business trying to help you get back to your car. What if you was crazy? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying I couldn't have taken her because I probably could have taken her, but I'm just saying I shouldn't have to make these types of decisions. But I think maybe just being hungry, she was able to get me on my on my heartstrings, and it was all good. It was an experience because the only brother who was around came to the rescue in a big way, and I was able to get back to what I was doing. Okay, what's the other part of the story? The other part of the story is grandma, not my grandma. She tipped the lady. Asked me what her waitress looked like. I'll tell you, she looked like Jackie Chan's daughter, I guess. Does Jackie Chan have a daughter? I don't know. She looked like Mrs. Chow's daughter. Is that better? Okay, she looked like that. And as we were walking and passing all these people, nobody was trying to help her, even though it looked like she needed help. I wasn't like She wasn't leaning on me or anything, but it looked like she needed help. And I'm sorry, I got a personal space thing. You're not about to lean on me, but I'll try to help you, because I don't know why. I really don't. Iris, why is that? Why am I like that? I don't know. You really don't have to answer, but I see you out there and I know you know me. So just in general, like, that was kind of dumb. But I felt better after the fact because the brother helped her out. America needs a flea bath. There were other people that, she tried to flag down before I helped her out. All these people look like they didn't belong here. And in my head, after she told me she had tipped the waitress, I'm like, that's part of our problem too. Like, we go above and beyond for all these other people, but then I'm not saying I wanted her to give me a tip. I really didn't. It's not about that. It's just like, I just don't understand. Like, I just don't feel like we get treated the same way. And I did not have to do anything for that woman. And again, I'm not saying that she was supposed to do anything for me helping her. But I am saying that she went above and beyond for a person who dipped out on her. And all she had to do was bring her shrimp and broccoli to the table. I don't know. America needs a flea bath. Another story I posted in the Jumbo. This one might tickle you, or it might freak you out. I don't know. The FBI has tracked over 100 incidents of Chinese nationals posing as tourists to breach U.S. military sites. Did you hear me? There's over 100 incidents this year of Chinese nationals posing as tourists. So, they say, me no speak English, and then they drive up on a military site, and there were more than, I think the article said, more than 10,000 controlled turnarounds that happened every day over across the 1,400 gates. 10,000 a day over, I'm sorry, 10,000 a day. 10,000 controlled turnarounds of these people getting turned around, and they're not getting shot, they're not getting harassed, they're not getting assaulted, or they're not getting anything that makes it look like the government is trying to protect us from espionage. Not a one. But let one of us accidentally drive through a military gate and they will literally shoot at you. I know you've seen it. America needs a flea bath. Here's another article. San Antonio police chief is supposedly livid because there's an offender that had a rap sheet as long as me but was able to walk about freely and shoot two officers. The suspect's name, Jesse Garcia. The suspect was taken into custody. Are you hearing me? He shoots two officers and is taken into custody. Where they do that at? Actually, they do that here in America, where we need a flea bath, because I feel like these people have their fangs and claws in real deep, and I don't know if the dominant society is just getting off scratching at it, because like it would be better to just treat the fleas, wouldn't it? Like, don't just scratch it because it feels good. Get them bitches off of you. Okay, I wasn't supposed to say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it would just be better to treat the problem versus just feel good for a second. Like throw Mr. Garcia into jail for a year. He gets out, and then he goes back, and then he gets out, and then he goes back, then he gets out, and what is that? Isn't that a waste of our tax paying money? Don't y'all pay taxes? Aren't you mad about that? Every time they talk about what we're spending money on, I'm like, I am broke. How are we spending anything? Like, aren't we in a deficit? Like, what the hell is going on? Didn't the banks just regulate that they got some extra shit going on? Okay, I'm not in the banking world, but it was kind of scary what I was reading. Maybe y'all read it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I do know America needs a flea bath, because if you shoot two officers and you get to be taken into custody, and then people knew that you kind of already had this type of behavior about yourself, well, I would say that means that the country knows what we're up against, and they just don't want us to do anything about it. They want us to be the victims of these people who are not supposed to be here, and then by default we'll get replaced. Is that what y'all want? Like, do y'all want to be replaced by these people who are not supposed to be here? Because really, I think every time I say they're not supposed to be here, it just fuels me a little bit more. These people are not supposed to be here at all. They are breaking the law. How can we send them back? Remember, I had that GoFundMe a couple years ago. The off code got a GoFundMe. I think we got a couple $100s, but it wasn't enough. And then the one girl that I was thinking about sending her back, I quoted her tweet, and she responded, "Please untag me. I love it here." And her tweet was something about like, I hate it here in America because of whatever type of non-acceptance was happening. Like, what are you talking about? You're not even from here. What are you talking about? Go home. We have a plane ticket that we've prepared for you. Go. That's for you. Especially for you. She didn't want to go. So I think I inactivated that GoFundMe. So if you did donate to that GoFundMe, you should have gotten your money back. If you didn't, please let me know, because I'm not in the business of making money off of our money. I really want to send these people back or send them somewhere. I think we need a break in the worst way. Like, it's not us, it's them. But they got us thinking that it's us. No, no, they're not even supposed to be here. Are you hearing me? Is anybody hearing me? Empress, are you hearing me? Look, being from home, Chocolate City is not what it used to be. Chocolate City is now that assorted box of chocolates that nobody wants to get for Valentine's Day, because it's got that weird one with the fruit filling that you can't really figure out what kind of fruit it is. It's just weird. But you bite it because, yeah, okay, now you tried it. All right. Every year you try, you don't want that one. You bite it anyway because it's in the box. What is that? Peace, Empress.
Peace, Sister Eve. How are you? Peace to the room. Great space as always. I'm crying laughing, but you're right. We as Americans, we need a flea bag. This is getting out of control, ridiculous. Since you're sharing stories, I got a quick one for you. So there's this guy in my job now, y'all. He's illegal, right? He's been here 20 years, right? How is that possible? I was like, if you took it one step at a time, don't you think you would have got the legal way to get here by now? But so he knows how I am. I'm really pro black. Like, I'm in my job, but that's just who I am. So I guess he's starting to like see things, right? Like he had an issue with the whole thing. Was it like about a year ago? Remember when they were like, oh, all the Spanish people were like, striking, and they were like, well, who's gonna do this work? Who's gonna pick these oranges? Like that whole thing in Florida when that happened. And he decided to think that to talk to me about it. He's like, I guess he thought that I was gonna be like, yeah, that's crazy what they're doing to y'all. And I was just kind of like, well, but even with my reaction since then, right, he's like trying to ask me, like, well, what can I do to learn more about? So we had a conversation. I gave him a couple of movies. I recommended a couple of movies to him that are like based on true stories and a couple of documentaries, right? He says, yeah, because like, I want to know what, like what happened to these people, to those people. He said, those people. And I was like, my people. And y'all know he looked at me and was like, well, I mean, like, you weren't like enslaved. Y'all know, like, it took everything. Y'all know I'm a bartender. I almost cracked him over the head with a glass. I was like, Jesus, please be still. Like, help me. I was like, what? They're my people. I was like, where do you think we come from? We are the children of these people. What are you talking about? It let me know just like how they think about us, what they learn about us, which is absolutely nothing. You've been here for 20 years. You have no idea about our history. And then you still, within your quest to learn, are trying to detach me from the people that I came from. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Yeah, we totally need a flea bath. These people got to go. This is insane.
That's wild, but they really will do that. They will try to remove you from your story like they don't know the story. And I'm sorry, when I've had family that has married out and it saddens me, but I'm not laying up with them and they don't pay my bills and I don't pay their bills, so, all that I feel like all right, whatever. Uh you're a coon if you don't support reparations, and that's across the board, whether you in my family or not. So that is known, well known to the universe. Now, what did I want to say about all that? I wanted to say that a lot of these people act like they are not learning this stuff at home, and they are. They're learning more about us than we're learning about them, and it's not fair. But that is the American public school system for you. So, take what you will, probably maybe remove your children from those situations and start teaching them yourself. And if you can't, we got Sunday school where, you can drop them in for a couple of hours and they can get their learn on with us. But if you can't do that, then you're going to have to do something because they will make you think that they don't know what's going on. And then they go home and they talk about it. And you'll never know because that's how on code they are. I mean, they literally will speak in another language. Empress, like, you don't speak English, you don't speak this or whatever. Okay, well, now this is what I will speak around you. And they don't feel no kind of way about it. I like when I hear white people talk about, or there were videos, I want to say maybe 5, 10 years ago, of white people saying to immigrants like, you need to speak English. Don't y'all like those videos? All right, I used to like those videos. I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of them recently, but I used to see them all the time. And where is that energy? Like, aren't you in America? Why can't you speak English? Isn't it a little disrespectful that you just allowed to have all these spy talks around us and we're not allowed to? Okay, not allowed because obviously you niggas can learn a thing or two. I mean, como estas? Okay, I'm not.
Yeah, I was about to say here a lot of white people outright trying to learn Spanish. It sounds terrible, but
But
they're
they know it.
acquiescing. They're
You
learning
don't have
Spanish.
to. Right. You will say hablo español it out in this bitch, and it's okay because they'll know what you're talking about. You know what they're talking about, and it's all good because at the end of the day, you really just need to know what they're talking about. Because if they're talking about you, and you don't know that they're talking about you, well, now you a soft target. And don't you not want to be a soft target? Isn't that part of the problem? You get got at the grocery store because why? Because you're a soft target. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. You're so damn friendly, and it's just a Sunday afternoon. Like you can't get shot up at Kroger, and you absolutely could. And that could have happened before Buffalo and before all of these other incidents. Shout out to Tarian in the audience because he is a brother who is showing us these examples. I said earlier, the only reason that I'm even talking about this is because I think that people are really out here saying, well, I don't know. I didn't know that this was happening. And it's not because these people are not out here talking about it. Shout out to the new black media. They are. But if you're not listening to the new black media, then you're going to have to do some due diligence and start tagging some words so that you know when there's people doing things. If you're going to sit here and say that you didn't know. And maybe after a week of every single day getting a tag of some heinous crime against some child or against some unsuspecting old person by some Jesse Garcia wannabe or whatever, maybe that'll make you feel differently. Because I know it makes me feel differently. But okay. Peace, Chase.
Peace, sister Justine, Empress, Candace, and the rest of the family out there. Peace to all of y'all. I hope y'all doing good. Until America has this flea bath, I would say y'all sisters and y'all brothers practice your two-way rights. Get gamed up on that. You know, Professor been telling us, about power tools and stuff. That should be a staple. And oh man, it is. The videos you pulling up, they've been. This stuff has been going on. This isn't no. This isn't a time to be playing with anybody. And if you notice, right, uh, because the type of work that I do, I'm working with different immigrant groups. I'm working with the Jamaicans, the Africans, and the Mexicans. And oh man, we make this. We make the job work. You know what I mean? Even though there's a lapse in communication and everything like that. But you also set the standard for how people act around you. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, it just seems like people want to shame you or they want to make you feel some type of shame about their plight. And I really don't be giving a F about it. I don't care about that, honestly. And I say that without any type of remorse or hard feelings or anything. Uh, You came over here on a boat, okay? However you got here, I don't care. My concern is about what's happening with my community. Okay, you got something going on. You don't want to pick the water. Okay, and what are you having for lunch today? What's the best macaroni and cheese recipe you got?
But Chase,
That's just
don't you think that that's part of the
yeah.
problem though? Because really, I feel you, but I'm saying like when we are only.
These other groups are always trying to make us feel shamed about not effing
Oh
supporting
no,
them.
right. I'm not.
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
I'm
think we
trying
should
not to
support
curse.
them.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I wasn't saying that. What I am saying is that aren't these other groups um they're we if we're not paying attention to what they're doing, then they're gonna keep sliding by, right? Like I feel like we need to shine a light on these roaches and then they'll scatter.
Like the brick lady. This is her second GoFundMe. D Tubman put the video out. What, like 19 hours ago, and she had all the receipts. This is her second GoFundMe. You came out and you shitted on black men. And look. She's shorty supposed to be a Muslim. She's got kids. Ain't said nothing about no husband. Then she's a lesbian, and she specifically said, "Ain't black men ain't protecting her." Come on, man. You know, yes, we need a flea bath, but until we get that flea bath start taking place, I suggest everybody get tooled up and learn. Do it responsibly, y'all. And if y'all brother or sister out with a felony, uh, hopefully you have your girlfriend isn't a felon that she can get a gun. So I'm just saying, uh, there's comes a time that we can't just sit up here and and just sit by and be relaxed and everything like that, because ain't nobody coming to save us. So, at those times where we have to take things in our own hands and stuff like that, be prepared. You shouldn't be sitting up here thinking about if you could take somebody out. You should just be taking them out. You know, don't be going to help nobody. 'Cause that's not that sympathy and stuff like that because y'all sisters got that. Oh man, this ain't the time. We in the middle of a war.
Chase,
I yield the
I
mic.
kept telling myself that after the situation was over and done, like I know better. I know better. I know better, and I've done better. But that time, she just looks so helpless. Like she's shorter than me. Maybe she had been drinking. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's just old. I don't know. What I do know is that nobody was helping her, and that was just driving me insane just a little bit because she had to have been 65 and up. So now she's 30 years older than me. Like it's just nobody was helping her. And then it's not like she was just a bum. Like she had clearly had already eaten there. Like she spent her money. Nobody's trying to help this lady get back to her car. Okay. And again, I didn't know what she needed. I just know she needed help. And that's the whole reason I even talked to her. But I don't normally do that. But that time I did. And I think the whole reason that I did that, Chase, was so that I was supposed to experience that brother helping me out. Like, cause the nigga came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't expect him to be the hotel attendant. I just knew that there was people sitting there at that little thing at the hotel. And, maybe one of them would be able to help. I had no clue what I was about to run into. So I do like guardian angels like that. So shout out to him. And thank you for those thoughts, Chase. Empress, go ahead.
So I just have a question because you were talking about paying attention to our surroundings, and we should be paying attention to what's going on. This is our country. So this is going to sound kind of ignorant because I don't know, but I was paying attention today. Y'all know, if y'all don't know me, I ride Ubers a lot, and most of the time there's a foreigner that's driving. You know what I mean? So I usually take that time to always just ask questions. I'd be like, oh, I hear accent. Where are you from? And I start these conversations. So earlier today, I got in the Uber, asked the guy, where you from? I think he said either Eritrea or Ethiopia. His accent was a little heavy, so it was, one of those countries,
Was it musty? Was it musty?
East Africa. And I said, well, how long have you been in the United States?
Was it
And he was
musty?
like, 2 years. And I'm like, and you got a license in 2 years? So I'm like, can you get guns? Like, what can they do? It perked me up because I'm like, in 2 years, you already got a license. I know that you don't have a good grasp of English in 2 years, and those signs you might can read a stop sign, but what can you read? Will toll from 2 to 3 on Tuesday. Like cause damage. If you get hit by a car, that's what can they do? I'm just asking anybody that knows in the room, like, can they get guns? Like, what exactly?
I think that even if there are rules on the books, Empress, it doesn't matter because they keep getting allowed to do things or they're not being held to the same standards. In California, you don't have to be here and you can be on the police force. And is that in other states too? Because I feel like maybe I've seen that in other states. I'm not sure. But I don't think that they're holding them to the same rules. So what needs to happen is that the rules that are on the books already, they need to be applied appropriately across the board. Like how they charge us with things and say, well, there's a law against that. Well, then if other people are breaking the same law, then those people should be charged too. Or just throw away all the laws, burn it down, and just, let everybody fend for themselves. I'm sure that'll be productive. I don't know. Peace, BW.
Oh, hey, good evening, everybody. I will just listen to everybody. I just don't think white people need to be running this country. They're not even smart enough to run this country. They have destroyed this country because they have so much hatred for us. And only thing they focus on is trying to destroy us. So they will do anything to try to destroy us. That's why they don't need to run this country. They destroy on everybody and they allow other people to do whatever, but they still press us. Every time we do something, they want to penalize us. So, and then a lot of our people, I sort of blame them in a way too, some things, because we so compassion towards other cultures. We don't even act like we care about our own people. And that makes me mad because I only care about my people and I don't care who don't like it. I put Black America first for anybody. And so I don't give a damn. But I it was something I seen on Facebook where they said Oprah and Rock was asking people for money or something for the people in Hawaii. That pissed me off because that Oprah jumping on another culture's rescue when you can't even dress your own people, help your own people, all these thousands of Black Americans in the streets, and you won't help them. So you're going to help another culture. But Rock, I think that's where he's from. He's looking out for his people. What I don't see nothing wrong with it. My problem was Oprah. You ain't doing shit for your people, but you're going to help somebody else. So that's a problem I have with our people. I can't stand that shit. It bothers my soul that we continue to look out for other cultures and we forget about every our own people. And that's why a lot of reason why we can't move forward because we put a lot of energy in other cultures. We marry
CW,
out.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You kind of cut out on me. Were you talking about The Rock and Oprah?
Yeah,
Okay. Could you
yeah.
just real quick what were you saying about The Rock and Oprah? Cuz
I
over
was
here on
saying
me,
I
I
was.
couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Can you hear?
I
Okay,
can
I
hear you
was
now
just
though. Go
saying.
ahead.
Okay, I was just saying. I read something on Facebook, something about Oprah and Rock was helping the people in Hawaii. Because of what happened.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I get that. I get that. But look, did you watch the video?
No.
Okay, let me tell you about that video. It's kind of wild cuz The Rock and Oprah are well to do, right? They got money,
Hmm.
right? Okay, so apparently they pledged $10 million, but it's not 10 million of their dollars. They pledged 10 million donation dollars, and then they're asking the people to donate to help them reach that $10 million mark. And I'm just like,
Right.
how you got millionaires telling
Right.
people with
But see,
no money that you need to donate
exactly.
money?
But see, I mean, I don't care if you help the people, because Rock helping his people. That's the point I was making. He looking out for his people. But Oprah got all this money. You ain't looking out for your people,
But The Rock is
and
not
I don't care.
they're not donating at all. I mean, I hear you. I hear you. Oh, if that's the case, then Oprah needs to do a 10 million. No, I can't support that. Oprah. Okay, let me pause. I'm not a person that's going to sit here and put my hands in anybody's pockets. What I am going to say is that if you're going to ask me for anything, then you should do something as well because it seems like an equal exchange. And if I know you have more than me, then I'm going to be looking at you kind of funny style if you're asking me for anything because it's like, well, if you got
Yeah,
it,
that's
like
true.
what you asking me for? Like handle it. Seems like you got it. Okay, but oh, that's a whole nother.
If
Right.
y'all
I
go
hear
get
you.
you
The
$10
Rock
million,
helping his
dollars, they'll be like,
people,
oh, not of
Oprah
my
not
money
helping
though.
her.
Yeah, that's how rich people is. They use the poor people to get money, and they stay rich.
Right, right. But
But
then
I just,
they never help. That's what BW. Were you in here when I was talking about my PF Chang's visit? That's what bothered me about the old lady. Not I don't go out of my way to help people. I don't have that face that's like, please come talk to me. People come talk to me regardless. But I don't have that face. I know I'm out here with the resting bitch face sometimes because I'm trying to just get in and get out. But this woman in the store at the restaurant, nobody was helping her. And she looked like she could have been my grandma. I mean, she was little just like my grandma, and she was just kind of sitting there and she's like pointing at people, and everybody's just passing her. All these young waiters and waitresses who college students or whatever. just walking past her, just like not paying attention to her at all. And it bothered me. It really bothered me. That's the whole reason I said something. And I know that I shouldn't be doing stuff like that. But she could still be sitting there right now. I don't even know. Like, nobody was trying to help her get back to her car. This shit was wild, BW. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you land. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I was really done. It just made me mad when they was asking poor people for money, and also all these people here in United well in well, I guess Hawaii is part of the United States, but my point is all the black people out here homeless. You ain't trying to step up to the plate to help them. Oprah did that bullshit before when she helping people out the country, building this school over there. And when you ain't doing shit for the black people here, I don't understand that. That's the problem we have. We just show more love to other culture, well, other cultures or other group of people than our own people, and that's another reason why we can't move forward. We don't invest money into our community. Everybody living a selfish lifestyle, and like I got mine, you get yours, and that's why we can't move forward. But you'll help a stranger that don't look like us. You'll go out your way backwards for their ass, but you won't help your own people. So that's all I want to say.
Well, I hope you said something that irritated somebody tonight, BW, because that's definitely the energy we need to be on. If you're going to help somebody, why can't they look like you? My biggest argument with my parents in the past couple of years was about DACA and just them being Democrats and DACA. Like, DACA, like, are you serious? Children of people who are not supposed to be here. I can't stress that enough. Like, just every time you think about it, they're not supposed to be here. Just let that be the mantra. Every time you see somebody's name who looks like they're not a colonizer and looks like they're not a foundational Black American, they're not supposed to be here. Things used to be simple, back in the day. You would go out, maybe you would see like one Asian or like a couple Mexicans, and everybody else is Black and white, and it was like, yeah. But now every single person that you meet is a suspect until further information is given, because I don't trust nobody out here. They look like us, they dress like us, but then you start paying attention to the details. Shout out to Tariq for paying attention to some details, because the hair, you can tell with the hairline.
And those wigs, I can't unsee it.
It's the hairline, Empress. That's part of the hairline. Like, you either got a janky shape up, or the edges ain't laid the right way. And I'm not saying that we need to be laying at, we had that space a couple weeks ago. I don't necessarily know that that's appropriate for certain women of certain ages. But if you can do it, do it. Y'all ain't doing it. Some of y'all ain't doing it. Ubuntu, you ain't doing it. It's not doing. It's not. I just wanted to let you know. America needs a flea bath. I think as soon as we treat the problem, then we will have an opportunity to heal. Because just like Hush Puppy, like, once we treated the fleas, I mean, she was biting her. She had sores and stuff. She had to heal from that. And after she healed from that, she good as new. Coat
Did you let her
shire.
play with the dog across the street anymore?
I do not let her play. That's the thing, Empress. Look, let me tell you, I don't let her play with dogs. I don't. Like, sometimes she's outside and people walk their dogs, and I don't keep her away from the gate per se, but I don't have her so that she can bite anybody per se. Like, if you get bit, it's because you're in my yard. So you can be at the gate, but if you put your hand in my yard, you might get bit. Like, I can't help you if you cross over into my territory. That's just how it is. But people will bring their dogs and they'll just stand there. And it's the most irritating thing. And the lady, the Russian, she don't live there anymore, but she had this little boxer, and she would bring him across the street, and they would just stand there. And, oh, she's so cute. She's so pretty. And I'm like, she is barking at you incessantly. She does not like you being right there. And if she pops this lead, it's your ass. And I don't have anything to say to you. Like, what am I supposed to say? You're watching her be menacing to you right now, and you're just gonna stand there and talk about how cute she is. Does she bite? Do you see teeth? Are you stupid? So okay, that's how people are, and it never fails. Like, the foreigners walk their dogs, and I know what they're doing. So check this, peep game. If this is happening to you, they're trying to acclimate their dog to your dog, because that's how they can try to take over the area. Once the animals are familiar with certain scents, it people can bust up in your house. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them stories before, but they're out there. I don't want to be that person. And so far, I'm not that person. Hush Puppy is an excellent guard dog, and people don't stick their hands in the gate. So I guess there's that. I'm not going to stay on here too long, you guys, but I really wanted to just tell you about this thought that I had, and maybe we can start coming up with some medication for the country. I think definitely doing things, echoing the new black media, the little new black media, people like Torian, shout out to him. Um, Other people, Taisha, shout out to her. Look, are y'all familiar with Othel Wallace? Because his case started yesterday on September 5th, I believe. I think they picked the jury. I only knew about that case because of Taisha. Shout out to her. So if you want to make a difference, at least in the information acquiring stage, sorry, in the information acquiring stage, pay attention to what's going on. And then you can't be like, Eve, I ain't know. I didn't know there was a brother being hemmed up by a race soldier, and he defended himself, and now he's about to get the death penalty. I mean, really, that he's not the only one, but he's the one that we know about. And if you didn't know about it, now you know. You can help him out if you want to, if you go to othal.org. That's OTHAL.org. Peace, Breeze.
Hey, my wonderful sister, Just Eve. Peace to everybody in the chat. Shit, I'm out here in the DMV like you, and they are flooding the zone with these people. I mean, I was just the other day. They was like, it was two. I, I, I guess it's like African people because they look like the woman, she had like one of those dresses that looked like the dress that they used to wear, that the white people wear back in the old days, and she had the bonnet on her head. They were just walking down the middle of the street out here in Virginia, and I'm like, why are they walking in the street? And they looking weird because the white people are honking at them because they just in the middle of the road. That they need to walk on the sidewalk. And I wanted to bring up that
Mow they asses down. What?
yeah, yeah, pretty much roll them over. But I
Mow them
also wanted to
down. What do you
I wanted to bring
mean?
up that situation that when in Prince George's with the police. It turns out not a foundational black American that was out there engaging in that degenerative behavior. She's another
Of
immigrant.
course not.
And it turns out that this cop, I think his name is Francisco Maltanova or something, he was with apparently that woman is with another woman, I guess, that was with another guy. And it looks like that guy was an immigrant and their child was being abused by that cop. But that cop didn't go to he didn't go to jail because he decided to. I guess they said he took anger management or something, so he didn't ever get prosecuted for it. So this is the type of stuff these people let happen. Because even when I saw the guy, when they interviewed him on the news today, they wouldn't even put down the guy's last name. But the way he was talking and the way his hairline was, I knew he was not one of us. So these people are out here and they're flooding the zone. They're putting them all out here, and it's just too many of them, and they're just all over the place.
That's
And I'm gonna
real
land my
talk.
plane right there.
Thank you for those thoughts. Thank you for those words. And thank you for the information, because maybe y'all don't know that it's happening. Maybe you live in an area where it's just black people and white people. I mean, maybe that happens. It used to be, I promise. There used to be a time where you could get, two cheeseburgers at McDonald's for like $2 or something like that. I don't know. Was it back in the 90s, when the Happy Meals made sense? I don't. Okay, it's a different time. I feel like times used to be different when it wasn't so itchy. It's hella itchy now. What did TBA says? If we can't all be comfortable, then what? We gonna all be uncomfortable. And I felt that. I felt that when he said that, and I have not moved off of that since I heard that all them years ago. And I really need y'all to adopt that mentality because it'll make you feel better about what we're dealing with. Because again, my biggest argument with my parents was about Democrats and DACA. I mean, they support reparations. They know that we're owed, but they just have a bleeding heart. What is that? How can you put the needs of children who are not supposed to be here over your grandchildren? Because that's what you're doing. You support DACA, you're not supporting your family because you're supporting sending resources elsewhere. You're supporting giving resources to people who are not supposed to be here. Like, what do I have to?
It's like in the movie, you know how like in the movies when the person is like being delusional, they crazy, and they like, oh, and somebody smacks them. It's like that.
That's facts. Are we in Get Out? Everybody needs to be flashed. Is this Men in Black? Like everybody's already been flashed and nobody knows what's going on because the memory is shady, hazy. What is going on? I don't know. Um, BW, I see your hand up. I'm gonna let you go, and then probably gonna go ahead and wrap up this space tonight. I've appreciated y'all letting me soapbox for a little while, but America needs a flea bath. Go ahead, BW.
It's just that I just get so frustrated with some of our people because some of us still caught up on that dumb stuff, loving everybody, and that just bothers my soul. They act like they can't see what's going on around them, and that just bothers me. And every time I speak up, they look at me like something is wrong with me because I'm always speaking up. It's like they act like they can't relate to what I'm talking about, and I'm like, what is going on? What's wrong with you? Or they'll say something like, "Oh, it's just the way it is." And I just feel a lot of us don't have that drive and that fight like we used to have back in the day. And I know it's a different time period, but we don't have that motivation. I don't know if because people smoking that marijuana or whatever the heck they getting high off and too laid back and content, but they don't have that drive like they did back in the day. I don't know what's going on. It's just
Sis, a lot of that, sis, has to do with intersectionality. A lot of black people now have, they've fallen for that. If I can get a little bit of pink snatch or anything else that they think they can get a hold of, whether it's some Latino coochie or whatever, that's what it is. It's really been ingrained into us to be like, well, love who you want or whoever.
right.
They've been saying that weirdo stuff for years, and a lot of people bought into that.
I agree with you
So
because
yeah,
a lot of they
I believe that America needs a major flea bath, and it has to come at some point. Now we might have to do the cleaning.
yeah, we is gonna have to do it, but we gotta wake up.
Absolutely.
We gotta
That
wake
is
up
the
though.
point. Where
We
we
gotta wake
can't
up. A lot of us
it's
not woke up to even
it's not
realize
gonna be
that's what we need to do. Huh?
it's not going to be the government is closing the borders, y'all. It's not. They're not going to. They're not going to do anything that's going to benefit us. So they would have to be in some dire straits for them to be like, oh no, we messed up. Let's close the borders. And really, by then it's too late because their numbers are in the red already. Don't y'all remember when Joe Biden clapped at the niggas? He said, y'all niggas have to work with the Mexicans. Y'all remember that Zoom call? I
I
laughed so
remember.
hard. I have not laughed hard like that
My favorite
since
part
that
was
nigga
America
fell
is
off the
going to be bad,
bicycle.
but not just because of the black. I was like, wait, what?
Right, right. No, that was sorely received by me and so many other people, and these black faces in high places are not going to do anything for us. So, like Breeze and BW are saying, yeah, that's going to be our job. You're going to have to make these people uncomfortable. Stop shopping with them. We already talk about, like don't frequent these places. PF Chang, look, I know I said I was at PF Chang's, but here we go. PF Chang's is an American chain restaurant. So
Yeah,
stop.
yeah. PF,
Okay,
yeah,
no, I'm just
PF Chang's is good. But like a lot of these black politicians, they're in comfort. They're loving their situation. They're only worrying about their little small group that's around them, and we just see it all over. Like there's black people out here. I was getting into it out here in Northern Virginia with black people because they want to push this East Indian woman. They want her to be the prosecutor out here, and I'm like, what have y'all identified from her that's gonna make y'all not think that she's not gonna practice the same anti-black racism that y'all claim these other folks were doing? Because
Jason Black gave us that answer to
yep,
all the questions that y'all been asking yourself. Jason Black gave us that answer 7 years ago. When it comes to our folks, ours, when the older generation, they're just comfortable. They're ready to die. They ain't trying to ruffle nobody. For Jason been done talked about this
yes,
several
he is.
times.
Yep, yep.
Bro, they're
Yeah.
just there. There's nothing that we can't do because I have that same thing with my father. The first thing, because he's in New Jersey, I came back down south. The first thing that comes out of his mouth when I buck against the Democrats is, "Oh, well, you're just down south and you're listening to all those goddamn Republicans in." Pardon me, I didn't mean to curse. But you're listening to all those Republicans in the South and da da da. You watching Fox News again? And I'm like, nah, man. This is just what it is. And you would think that logic and rationale would have something to do with it. And I mean, this is my senior. I'm named after this man, and I love him. But he stuck with that Democratic Party, and I'm like, man, look here, bro. I ain't voting Democrat. My dad ain't talked to me about 2 weeks. But see, now I got three aunts down here, and one of them, I have to look out for and take her shopping once a week and stuff like that. So the last time we had the votes up, I told her her minivan wasn't working and everything like that, and she wanted to catch an Uber, and I told her she can't catch an Uber because of COVID and everything. So I stopped her from going to the polls, and she damn sure was getting ready to vote. She was
That's
getting ready to vote for
excellent.
Stacey Abrams. You know what I mean? I was like, oh no, hell no. I told them all the people up there had COVID.
Look, Chase, look, because for real, I said I was about to close the space, and I wasn't. Not that not that I don't want you to speak, but I was about to close the space, but I was like, I think Chase needs to say something. And damn it, if you didn't say something, look, y'all have to be clever with these old niggas. Really, you really do. Because they're not thinking. If they were thinking, they would know they can't take their booty to the polls. Not for no tangibles. Really, the math don't math. These people are not supposed to be here, but they're getting tangibles. So check it. If they're not supposed to be here, are they voting? They're not voting, y'all, and they're getting tangibles. So the math ain't mathin'. We have
Big.
to do
That's
something
big
different.
facts right there. And we just saw today, in Chicago, they had a whole bunch of immigrants they said were arrested for attacking the police in Chicago. So it's starting to come to that point. They're my one of my brothers. He's up in Vermont. He lives in Vermont, and they're flooding the zone even way up in Vermont with these people that don't even come from cold weather areas. They're just walking around with these Arab clothing or African clothing. They don't. He said they don't even have coats. He says summer just started happening in Vermont. It just started in Vermont in September. It's very short. He's like he don't know how these people gonna survive when the winter comes.
I believe it. I believe it. Nah, they're definitely not segregating the areas from these people as much as they're plopping them where we are. So is it a place where there's black people in Vermont? I don't know, but I'm just saying that I find that a lot of times these immigrants, sorry, what did I bad Eve? These illegals are plopped in our neighborhoods and you can't ship them to Martha's Vineyard like you want to. They can't go sit in front of Obama's house like you want them to. Nah, they go take over abandoned schools. And why are the schools abandoned? Well, because the government doesn't care about us. Not the way that they want you to think that they care about you. You know, the way that they tell you to take your booty to the polls and then we'll think about doing something for you later. Nah, uh-uh. The math ain't mathin', y'all. America needs a flea bath. Look, if America got a flea bath, then, it would start at the top, right? Things would just start falling off. And then I think that the things that would start falling off being attached to all of these old things, because with Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden and Feinstein and all these really old, decrepit people who are probably dead already, but they have access to resources where they probably are like plugged up at nighttime so that they can get through 8 hours or whatever. I don't know. But they probably not supposed to be here either. So, if if the flea is not driving the host, or at least those hosts, then maybe it'll be two birds, one stone. I don't know. Peace divine.
What's good, Sister Eve? How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I can. Welcome.
Thank you for the space. Yeah, to I think it was BW, and kind of to the point that someone else is making. I forgot his name. Forgive me on that. But yeah, a lot of the apathy, in our community, outside of the old people that are just, either set in their ways or they done been turned out. A lot of apathy was because of not getting any tangibles for our group specifically, even though we did all that fighting. And I think it's up to us to kind of reset that table, show the way, let them know that we are still out here, that we are still fighting. And I think that will kind of inspire some of the individuals that's on the fence. A lot of people that are just totally gone and are okay and are willing to push, progress for other groups over us. Those some of those people are too far gone. But the last thing I want to say is to your point, yeah, it's not going to come from the government saying this is what we have to do, or from the top down in that perspective. Here in New York City, we're getting totally flooded, and the only area that has gotten any type of relief or any type of win or any type of pushback are the white folks on Staten Island that have been standing at the gate, like, yo, when they see the buses come through, they in the street, like, nah, get up out of here.
Facts.
They're
Facts.
right. They're
Facts.
shining the flashlights at the driver's eyes, and like they're taking matters into their own hands, like they always have. When it's an outside enemy that they feel is somebody that's going to come to the community. Now, I'm not saying we need to be like the white folks, but there's something that we can learn from that to take charge of our own areas to say no. If the government is not going to do it for us, we're going to have to police these areas. We're going to have to let them know that they can't come and drop these people in our schools, in our areas. Like in my specific area in Brooklyn, they were going to use the um the gymnasium to house them. And so we organized a group of people out here in our small area of Brooklyn to, hit Adams up, like, yo, what's good? Like, we can't even get no summer programs with that area. It's actually an indoor basketball court that was just built, I want to say maybe within the last 8 years. So it's fairly new. And you don't do anything with that. You don't give us any resources to or access to it to use to keep kids off the street. But you're going to house grown ass unvetted men and put them in our community. And so we got them up out of there. And it was crazy. They didn't even let the community know they was going to do that. We found out via a pretty much a report that ran on the local news that's saying, oh, by tomorrow it was going to happen. So by the next day, we was out there like, nah, hold on. And so that's what we're going to have to do across the country in all these areas, because they're not going to do it for us. And I'll land on this. Unfortunately, when we're talking about the government, especially here in New York City, and probably in other areas, I say this all the time, these politicians are going to advocate for their people first and foremost. And I don't care if they have melanin or don't have melanin. They will unite over their immigration status way before they unite with us over melanin content. And they are actively advocating for these individuals that cannot vote for themselves. They are actively fighting for resources for them, while our politicians, the ones we put in place, or those that are foundational Black American, um, come in and then acquiesce to the party line instead of fighting for us like we need them to. So I'll land there. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. And definitely, definitely, I love how energy works. Check it. I watched the other day Deacons for Defense. Have you seen it? It came out a while ago. It's okay if you haven't, but I watched it the other day. And man, if what you just said isn't just right there in my sights. So if you haven't seen the movie or if you don't know the story, because it is a true story, the black people in Bogalusa, Louisiana, had said enough is enough. And okay, they have like a white savior that comes down from, I guess, the NAACP type situation, organization, Voters League, something like that. But Forrest Whitaker is the main character, the hero, and he basically is in charge of these black men, or not, he's not in charge, but they kind of elect him to be the speaker of them, these men who are saying enough is enough. And since the police in this area are literally Klan members, we have to do something to stop them. And they weren't all armed. They they said it themselves, at least in the movie, that there were people with sticks and stones. And that actually made me think about the Haitian Revolution. Because, I mean, I don't know if you know, but you can do some harm with some sticks and some stones if you know how to throw it right. So really don't take for granted what you have around you. Like, a brick is a brick. Shout out to Brick House. Okay.
Too soon, maybe.
Too soon. Possibly, possibly. But if we had that flea bath, then she wouldn't have been over here doing the most, and she might not have been whopped in the head with a brick. It's possible they would have chopped her head off, because really, some of them places that these people come from, they don't really accept that type of behavior. But okay, peace, Torian.
Hey, what's going on? Even salute to the chat. You know, it's interesting that you brought up about like what the people in the chat was bringing up about illegal immigration because in New York in the last, I would say 3 weeks alone, there have been three different levels of criminality that happened in that state alone from what I like to call the South of the Borderian. One involved this woman in some kind of a bike that I think she was trying to steal. And I noticed it's a lot of that going on up there where they're trying to steal a lot of these bikes, like those city bikes. Then there was another one that TBA talked about in his recent broadcast. If y'all watched his most recent one that I think he did on, it was either Saturday or Sunday, he talked about that one guy that was up there. And it was another one that happened too, that happened a couple weeks prior to that, that kind of lined up almost similar to the one that he spoke about. All of that happened literally within a month's time. The media barely spoke about any of that. And those are the people they're allowing to come over here. No vetting process, nothing. They're not checking them for nothing. They're bringing their criminality over here. Some are bringing disease over here. So if you start to see a spike in certain disease that you probably never heard of before, haven't been around in years, you can pretty much pinpoint where it came from. But there was also this story that happened down in Texas where you had this 18-year-old from Venezuela. He just got here this year, hasn't been here for a whole year. And he violated and deleted his neighbor's 11-year-old daughter. Now, mind you, his daughter, the woman, the neighbor's daughter, was, I think, Mexican. And get this, when they found out it was him that did it and they apprehended him, he gave two stories. Now I can't remember the first story he gave, but they just knew that that first story didn't just check out. So the second story he gave was two black men hemmed him up and forced him to commit the crime. Now keep this in mind. He just got here from Venezuela, probably couldn't speak a lick of English or barely speak English, but he knew how to blame two black men for a crime that he committed. Now, where did he get that talking point from? He's 18, mind you. He just turned 18 this year. And he already committed a heavy felony crime that, as of right now, he could either get one of two sentences. Capital punishment, because you know this is Texas we're talking about. Capital punishment, which we all know is the death penalty, or life without the possibility of parole. Like they said, that's the only two options he's going to have when this trial goes down, because there's really no, like, clearly there's no other option for him there. And there was even some more stuff that came out about him from his roommates, saying that he presented kind of odd behavior. And the crazy part about it is, the thing that incriminated him or got him caught was the fact that he dropped a key near the scene of the crime. It was a silver key. If they did not get that key, he probably would have got away with murder. And that's all
Well,
I got to say.
that's, well, let me just be honest. When you said a key, I immediately went to drugs. So that's just my brain. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
not not that type of key.
But when you said, when you described it, I was like, oh, okay, like a key. Okay, so the police know how to do their job when they want to do their job. That's always the case. It's just when it comes to us, they start forgetting how to do their job. It's, I'm nervous, I'm afraid for my life, I didn't know if that was a gun or not, or was that gun really there? Did I happen to bring something that I could plant here just in case it's all for naught and I don't want to have wasted my time, and it is a nigga, so, let me go ahead and offload this hand piece. Okay, that happens. I'm not just making it up. But yeah, thank you for that news article. And again, shout out to you, because I only know about this stuff, not necessarily what I posted, but the fact that you have a voice and you're speaking about these things makes me want to remind people that they're not supposed to be here. Like, I swear to God, like, if y'all get that in your heads, every time you see a story like this, it's going to make you mad. I promise.
and
And
one
then
last
maybe you're going to want to do something about it.
and one last thing I want to add, because I forgot to say it. This is also why it is dangerous when they keep trying to do or say black and brown. Because notice what I just said and what that man tried to do after he said what he involving that little girl. The more and more they keep trying to push that black and brown, is going to make it seem like we are in cahoots with each other when it's a level of criminality. Because that's the only time they like to attach us to each other, is when it comes to that. Remember what happened at that I don't know if y'all heard about what happened in California at that mall when they had that smash and grab, and they immediately tried to blame that on black people, but the first two people that they apprehended were Mexican. Keep that in mind. They're trying to link us together with the level of criminality. So this is not done on accident. This is very intentional.
Absolutely. And just on the black and brown thing, and thank you for coming up and speaking, and definitely you are always welcome to do that. Black and brown, don't y'all realize that it's black and brown and not brown and black? And even though that might not roll off the tongue as well, the driving force behind this coalition is black. We need to take ourselves out of that situation. It has Nathan to do with us and everything to do with them. And on top of the fact that they ride our coattails, our plight, our tragedy, everything that's wrong with us, they'll say it's happening to me too. But then I think about the fact that they're not supposed to be here. Like, you chose to come over here, you knew what was happening, and you said, yeah, I'll chance it. Why? Because it's always some nigga I can just blame it on. Like, Torian just gave us an example of a person who's not supposed to be
Eve,
here.
your jumbotron. I'm so sorry. I don't know who you got up here.
Oh shit.
This Donna person, whoever it is, please get them out of this space and get your jumbotron together.
Jeez. This is Isla. I'm just kidding. It's not Isla. But goddamn. Well, Donna, see, what you have on your mind is some other shit. And yeah,
I blocked and reported them.
I appreciate that. Shout out to you. And shout out to you, Empress, for paying attention, because I'm just a little hot right now, and sometimes I don't see anything but red. That is the bull in me. It's okay. I don't like seeing white people. What the hell is this? So much white people. Okay, Elon Musk, I think you're a pervert, because the way that you allow so much porn on this app It's just like you get off on it. You have to get off on it. There's no way that you don't get off on it, because if you didn't get off on it, then maybe you wouldn't allow it on your app. Okay. Why they do me like that? Sis, why she do me like that? What the hell? I mean, is it because she's not supposed to be here? Is Donna a bitch who's not supposed to be here? Did we have a flea in the mix? Like literally, the bitch made me itch in real time. Empress was over here like, Eve, she's biting us. What are you doing? Okay, sorry. I had to talk until I got to the end of Donna's thing so I could start deleting these shits. Why they do me like that? Go ahead.
Hello, Eve, and yeah, raw chicken, flea bitten, degenerate devil, always trying to take some, positivity of, when you hear actual like information and then there's a mic, somebody's gonna try to, detract or distract or whatever. But in terms of the flea bath and about like how America needs it, and BW actually, when she spoke earlier, that is what I really resonated with, because I was really, really guilty of in my 20s. Most of my advocacy was abroad and for children in other places on other continents. And because I was like, hey, we have it bad here, but at least we have running water. And you've heard me say a few times where, all over America in Black enclaves, we don't have clean drinking water. We have, high levels of lead, which causes not only brain cognitive development issues or issues with brain development, but also causes infertility. Go ahead and look that up in the CDC. So there's a lot going on, and I do wish that I would have known. If it's like, if I knew then what I know now, like I should have been advocating for children, our kids, my whole life, because maybe we would have been further. And when I did start honing in on our children, I'm starting, and our people, I'm starting to see a lot more happen. So I even have to take that responsibility myself. And then there was a couple other things that I wanted to bring up too. I even believe the propaganda that people, they're here and they're eager to work hard and do the jobs that Americans won't do. And then I got into corporate America and I started seeing some people, overstaying some visas. And I started, getting into kind of like higher level, I'll say just work that you need a little bit more than just entry level. And I'm like, no, the hell, like I'm seeing all kinds of people doing all kinds of things that aren't people that aren't supposed to be here in these positions. And they're not doing better work. They're not doing better quality anything. And so it's just like, it's the propaganda for me. And I know that it is by elitists, devils who want to basically exploit cheap labor. But it's like, I just wanted to basically say that, like, yeah, we do have like a flea problem. And it's not because anybody is better or worse. Like nobody, oh yeah, they're just eager and no, it's not. I mean, there is a system that is set up for the success of some, and it's built on the subjugation of others. So I'll go ahead and say reparations now, cut the check, but we do have a flea problem, and it is okay for us to advocate for ourselves and for our empowerment as we should be doing. And just like BW said, Oprah has she's one of the richest women in the world. Bitch, why don't you donate your fucking money instead of asking people who are encountering inflation, who right now are spending $1,000 a month more than they were just a year ago for the same damn thing? Why don't you spend your shit? And I'll end it there.
I appreciate those words, Iris. I really do. And to the people who are telling me about the jumbo, I know I just said something right before Iris started talking. I swear I started saying something about it because Empress told me about it in real time. So while my jumbo looks like it doesn't have any more porn up there, I don't know what yours looks like, but there were a billion of them, and maybe.
It's clean now. It looks clean to me.
Okay, look, thank you for speaking while I did that, Iris, and thank y'all for alerting me to the spam. But I don't know if these people are bots or if they're not supposed to be here. Um, You start shooting some medicine their way and they start malfunctioning. Like, nobody wants to see white people trans porn. White people don't even want to see white people trans porn. It's a phenomena. Okay.
I think it's a way to get the space shut down or something. Because I'm like, y'all so unoriginal. Like, show us some Proud Boys or some Nazi stuff that just porn. It's like y'all so
like,
lame.
like back in the day, they used to burn crosses, and today they troll your Twitter spaces with trans porn. Is that what they're doing? Okay. All right. Actually, before I let Divine, I see your hand up. I'm gonna let Kira go and then I'm gonna let you go. I know y'all saw the video of the white people with the whips and they're cracking the whips. And then the next video is a bunch of niggas in a field and they all have chairs and they're like, they're getting their chair practice on. Okay, that tickled me and I hope it tickled you. Peace, Kira. Kira, are you there? Well, did you want to speak? Okie dokie. Um,
Are you a
Kira's a
troll,
PhD.
Kira?
Kira's a PhD candidate who grabbed the mic. Look, I don't throw mics out. Um, if you grab a mic, it's because you want to talk. Okay, let me not. Sometimes if I'm trolling people, I'll say grab a mic because I want them to come up on stage and talk to me directly versus like troll my comments or talk shit about me behind my back. But, for the most part, if you grab a mic, it's not because I gave it to you. It's because you asked to speak. So don't do that, Miss PhD candidate. You might remain a PhD candidate. Um, Divine, I'm so sorry. I should have just let you go. Peace.
Nah, it's all good. That just that you was talking about stuff tickling you. Did that just tickle me to use that word? She put thumbs up and thumbs down, but she had the ability to say yes or no. That's so interesting. But anyway, um,
Wasn't it? Okay,
yeah,
I was like, am I the only person who saw that?
I'm like, wait, what? Okay. Nah, I just wanted to say something because when Torian was up there, he kind of he triggered me to remember it. Because there's so much shit going on here. So to the criminality, there was just a unverified news report that just came out by one of the accounts on Twitter. I can't remember the exact name of it, but that they are, and we understand they're doing this because some things have come out already that was once being hidden. And so there are a number of crimes that are happening on the premises of like the various hotels and makeshift um shelters that they're putting together for them, where one was just a underage sexual assault that happened inside one of the hotels, and they're trying to hide that. They hid for a long time them throwing away perfectly good food because it wasn't their desired cuisine or genre of food. So we've seen that happen as well. So there's a ton of things going on. But my overall point that I got reminded of is that I want to make sure I just kind of encourage the family to watch out in your particular area. It may not be happening now. It may come to a town near you or where your family's at. But I just want to say that this is not happening in a vacuum. More so to just Eve's point about it's not going to come from the top down. The top down is complicit. And so here in New York, just to give a brief timeline, just to show how things are set up, it was not too long ago that out of nowhere, it became public policy in New York City that non-citizens could come and get driver's licenses, right? And so we understand how much documentation you need as a citizen and how long you got to wait in the fucking DMV, excuse my language, in the DMV just to get that permit or license with all points of identification, all that. But they were allowing non-citizens to come in to get driver's licenses. And then, as if that wasn't weird enough, from there it morphed into okay, now they can take those driver's licenses and they can apply for jobs that before were just relegated to citizens without having to say it was relegated to citizens because non-citizens should have never been able to work in those fields. And so then they were able to take jobs away from non-citizens. And
How though, Divine? How are they passing a test? How are they? When I went to get my license, I had to bring my birth certificate, my social security card. I had to
come
bring
on
all this
now,
stuff.
come on now, talk about it. I don't even think they got to wait in the same line. I think it's fast tracked, right? Like I don't, you don't even see them. It's not that many. It's not that many translators in the DMV in certain areas for them to be able to go in there to get and go through all the steps. But what happened shortly after that was they then instituted the policy at a New York City Council level to give non-citizens the right to vote as long as they have been in the city for 30 days. Not living here, not residents, just if you were here for 30 days, you were going to get the chance to vote. Luckily, we got wind of that at the U.S. Freedom Project that does the work in New York City to hold the line for our lineage. We were able to get a hold of that, and we were able to file a lawsuit that challenged that law on the basis of the New York State Constitution. And so that was thrown out. So they didn't get a chance, they didn't get that chance to vote. But now, can you imagine what that would look like if that did pass with what's going on right now? And it's just my belief, again, that none of this is happening in a vacuum. This is all orchestrated for them to go from point A to point B to point C to the end point and the end game of whatever they want. And so we kind of threw a monkey wrench in that because now all these people that are coming in, being bussed in or being, brought here strategically, all of them would have been able to vote in 2024 had we not got that shot down. And so this is what they're looking to actively do. So just want to point that out. So just look at some of the laws or some of the local things that's going on in areas near you because it's orchestrated. And again, I want to end on this point, bring my iron horse to the station on this. It is not going to come from the powers that be. I just saw a tweet put up by Jamal Bowman, a congressman for New York, where on the Breakfast Club, he told our people that in order for us to get better political outcomes, we should probably think about moving in mass to the South. Now, I'm not against that, but that's a sitting politician with power. That's what you told Black Americans to do. While on the post you just put up today, you told Governor Abbott that, yeah, keep sending them here because we're going to keep giving them resources and clothing them and feeding them. So you're willing to fight for policies for non-citizens, but for Black Americans that have been in New York for multi-generations, you're telling them, well, you might want to move down south to get better political outcomes because I don't see it happening in New York. The change is going to come from us or from nowhere. And I'm just glad that more of us are waking up and waking up those around us for us to do that work.
Beautiful. Thank you for those final thoughts. Yeah, every time I feel like I'm about to close the space, because I swear I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not. School just started, and all 5 minis are in school, and I'm a teacher at their school, and I do try to be cognizant and aware. It's just hard to get away because America needs a flea bath, and I just feel like we're on the cusp of the right medication. So maybe Q has the words. Q the black pill. Peace to you.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, when it comes to illegal immigration, these people are just flooding here from other countries. What's happening is that people from all across the planet are just emptying out and coming here. Namely, people, at a certain level. They're just making their way here, taking the side door, taking the back door, trying to stick around long enough to gain a foothold. Now, it was one thing when it comes to, the people who are around. People try to say, well, they've been here for so many years. Let's try to, make citizenship available for them since they've been around for 5, 10, 15 years. Now it's like the numbers are coming in so dang fast to where it's like, okay, something, this is just something that just won't stand. And I really do feel when it comes to all the people who made their way here during the time Biden has been president, there needs to be a fast track to deportation. This is something that just can't stand. If the Democrats are going to keep pulling these stunts, then it's going to be like they're going to find themselves being removed from office one after one after one after one, dropping like dominoes because what they're doing is undermining the people who are here. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. They need to take the stance they did when it came to, Bill Clinton saying, you can make your way here, but it has to be lawfully. They have to do things within the parameters of the law because we can't just keep making perpetual room for anybody and everybody who shows up. That just doesn't work long term. And what you will see is the personality of these people, come out over the years. They will be just as set in their ways as the people who are here now because nobody wants to be a damn delivery driver forever. Nobody wants to be, manual laborer forever. I don't have an issue with them striving for the American dream, but it's not going to be at my expense. I'm not going to deal with people who come here who are hostile. I'll be damned if I'm being called a nigga in broken English. I'm just not going to allow that to happen. But that's all I'm going to say as far as that.
My nigga, I like that. Correct. If you are not foundational, you are not allowed to refer to me as a nigga or a nigger or any of that. But I call everybody nigga. It's part of the vocabulary that I'm trying to mature. I told y'all earlier in the space, I'm trying. I really am. But white nigga, black nigga, nigga down the street, the nigga upstairs, that is just a people word, I guess. And it's not the best usage of my voice. So I'm trying to do better. But yeah, y'all niggas who are not from here, you can't say that, and you're not even niggas. So it's just that's just the way it is, right? So do something else. Okay, here's the thing. If you're not a flea, then this message is not for you. However, I'm told and have seen that flea baths work for other types of insects as well. So you might feel some kind of way about, what's said in these spaces amongst my family and people who just want to be around us, but that is what it is. I feel like once America gets the flea bath that it needs, then we can heal. Reparations is coming, y'all. And whether you like it or not, you're going to have to do something about the people that are around you. Because if you don't, they're going to take your shit. Black first.